Welcome to the Buyer Advantage Program presentation. This is a 7-step system that I've created to get every buyer we meet with motivated to work with us exclusively to buy their next home. Now, during this training, please remember to have a pad and pen readily available to take notes. Be in a place where you have no disruptions or distractions for the next 20 to 30 minutes. Over my 15-year career of being in the business, I've seen really good buyer presentations and, of course, seen really bad ones. Over that time, though, I've taken bits and pieces to create the ultimate presentation. Combined with advanced sales techniques and processes, I've created the Buyer Advantage Program presentation 7-step system. Here's a quick overview. Step number 1 is how to build bonding and rapport with the home buyer, even if you've never met or talked with them before. Step number 2, how to set up the agenda for today's meeting while at the appointment so you can ensure yourself an outcome. Step number 3, uncovering the why behind the purchase of the home. Step number 4, finding out more about the financials of the home purchase. Step number 5, who's in charge here? That's uncovering the decision-making process of the buyer. Now that you've done all of this fact-finding, you'll make a decision and say, do I want to take this person on as a client? That's right. You get the power of choice. No more accepting every piece of business that comes your way. If you say, yes, this buyer has a want, need, and desire to purchase a home, then go into step number 6, which is the presentation. Last but not least, step number 7 is the only close you'll ever need. This is the Buyer Advantage Program presentation system that agents who I've trained and mentored are using, securing over 90% of signed agreements with the buyers they meet with, which results in a scalable business and making a ton of money. I'm not talking about friends and family and referrals. I'm talking about complete strangers they've never met with before. So in today's training, I'm committed to giving you guys my all, giving you guys 120%. But if I do that, can you be present and engaged? No distractions, no cell phones. Tell the kids to go in the other room for the next 20 to 30 minutes. No distractions, be fully present, be fully engaged. If you can, I want you to say to me right now, yes, Blake, I commit. Come on, say it. Say it. Yes, Blake, I commit. All right, if you're still here, let's jump in. Step number 1 is the bonding and rapport building phase, which is also known as the home tour phase. This is assuming that you're meeting the home buyer directly at the home they inquired to see. Now, if you're meeting with them at the office, a nearby restaurant, or coffee shop, it'll be the same principles I talk about here. The first thing that should come out of your mouth is, ready to find your dream home? That should be the first thing that comes out of your mouth, and they should feel the energy behind it. You're asking this question right up front to catch the buyer off balance so we can get an authentic answer. The answer and the way they say it will tell you a lot about the buyer's personality profile. If you hear the response such as, absolutely, you can start to uncover that maybe this is a high D or high dominant personality with motivation. Plus, you know they're motivated. If it's a cautious home buyer, either the personality profile is a high C or they're just unsure or uneasy, you might hear, well, maybe. Understanding the personality of buyers you deal with is extremely important, but most agents don't have a clue about it. We could spend hours, if not days, talking and training on personality profiles, but that's much more than the scope of this training. Just remember, you sell to people the way they want to be sold. If you're meeting directly at a home, let's start off by understanding the purpose of the tour. Because you're about to start walking through this property, the purpose is to bond, to have a bonding time with the home buyer and start the rapport building process. You're going to be touring the entire home. So be sure to take some notes here about what the buyer considers key things or things that are really important to them related to the home. To start building rapport, always remember what I like to call FROG, which stands for family, recreation, occupation, and goals. Let me repeat that again. Family, recreation, occupation, and goals. You bond and build rapport by asking questions about the buyer's family, about what they like to do for fun or hobbies, what they do as a profession, and eventually their goals. Most amateur agents try to sell the home during the tour. This is a mistake. You're trying to get a new client, so focus on them. Focus on FROG. That's the purpose of the tour and why you're going on it. This is a very important stage because you can't ask somebody to marry you until you take them on a date. And this is your dating phase as you're touring the home. Okay, we've completed step one, which is bonding and building rapport with the buyer. Now let's move into step two, which is the agenda, or as I like to call it, TAQO, T-A-Q-O, time, appreciation, questions, and outcome. This is your opportunity to put the elephant pretty much in the middle of the room. You first thank them for meeting with you today. You then let them know that you're going to have some questions that you need to ask them so you can better understand their specific situation and see if you could even be of help to them with your access to off-market deals. Inform them that it'll take about another 15 to 20 minutes and verify the time is okay. It's easier to go through an effective presentation when there's a mutual understanding of the events that are about to take place rather than the buyer having no understanding of how long this is going to take or what's going to happen. Make sure you put a point of emphasis on the off-market deals and possibly the other advantages such as the home warranty and others of the Buyer Advantage program. Buyers need to know that there's something in it for them to stick around and answer your questions. Once you have a yes, then you explain if you feel as if it could be of service, you'll go through with them the entire Buyer Advantage program system. At the end, you'll ask them if they want to get enrolled today, and you're going to be looking for either a yes or a no. And you can let them know that no is okay. You prefer a yes, but no is the second best answer. What you're doing is working to take the "I'll think about it" off the table so you have a definitive answer leaving the appointment. When there's no TAQO, what ends up happening is the buyer has their guard up throughout the entirety of the conversation and starts to put you in a rush mental state, which is never good. Now, both parties agree what's going to happen over the course of the appointment, and an outcome will be given. And there you have it. There's TAQO. Now we're off to the fact-finding stages of our appointment, which starts with step number 3. You need to uncover the why, or as you'll hear me speak about, the pain behind the purchase of the home. So Tony Robbins and Deepak Chopra, way back in the day, did a recording together. If you guys get an opportunity to find it on YouTube or out there on eBay, you should absolutely listen to it or buy it. Tony and Deepak go through people function and do things for really one of two reasons: to move away from pain or to move towards pleasure. I found that to be true over my career in real estate. Unfortunately, you can't create motivation where motivation doesn't exist. What you can do, however, is you can uncover motivation. And it's your job as a sales professional to uncover that motivation, to help create the ultimate solution for your home buyer. When I talk about the word pain or motivation, I'm talking about the buyer's why. Here are a few examples of questions I'll ask during this phase to probe. Is there a particular reason you're considering making a move? What areas are you interested in? If you could wave a magic wand, when would you like to be unpacking boxes in your new home? Is the date you want to be unpacking boxes flexible? Do you currently rent or do you own? Would you like to buy or sell your home first? Once you get a response to these questions, you aren't done yet. Amateur agents take the response as the answer, but top agents dig deeper. This is where you go into second level questions such as, that's interesting, tell me more about that. What you're looking to do is find an emotion. Emotion is the driving force and usually big why behind the sale of the home. Once they've answered the second level question, tell me more about that, it's time to go a level deeper. I use third level questioning only when uncovering a driving emotion that is going to make or break a sale. You won't always use third level emotional questioning during normal interactions with clients, only when you're in a make or break situation, such as getting a buyer agreement signed, getting a buyer to make an offer, or even getting the buyer to accept a difficult seller's negotiation. Here's the third level questioning to use. How does that make you feel? This is going to tell you exactly how it makes them feel, which is where you're trying to get to. Now, let's take a look at an example. A home buyer is looking to make a move because they want to be closer to their work and stop commuting. So I say, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Buyer, why exactly do you guys want to move? Well, we want to move closer to work. So I reply with, okay, great. Well, tell me more about that. I mean, I know a lot of people who commute all over Southern California. I mean, why is this something that's important to you? Is it family? Is it just stress in the car? What exactly is it? The buyer replies with, I'm just spending upwards of an hour and a half a day in the car, and it's each and every day. I want to be closer to my work so I don't have to miss out on all that time with my family. I, as the agent, say, oh, that totally makes sense. So is it safe to assume there have been some instances where you've missed time with your kids, or maybe a baseball game, a softball game, soccer game, something like that? The buyer replies, yeah, exactly. And then I, as the top agent, hit them with a final uppercut that they never saw coming. So tell me, how did that make you feel? How did you feel when you missed those games? Boom, we've gotten to an emotion. So one question, why exactly do you folks want to make a move? We went 3 levels deep, uncovering that emotion. But that's what the why factor's all about. The why is a buyer moving further away from pain. Most of the time, moving away from pain is the true creating motivator than seeking pleasure. Most of us want to look like the workout models we see on social media. But if the doctor told us we were in serious health troubles and get our ass to the gym daily, we would. The doctor visit is usually a greater motivator than the pictures that you see on social media. Pain versus pleasure. Is your buyer trying to move away from pain like the example I gave you? Or are they trying to move closer to pleasure? It's your job to find the motivation and to uncover that motivation or that emotion. Okay, I bet you took some gold nuggets out of that section, didn't you? Now we move on to step number 4, which is the financials. Understanding a buyer's financials or budget of the sale is pretty dang important. We're going to do this step pretty close to the way we did the previous section, which is ask surface level questions to dig deeper. An example would be, so tell me, Mr. and Mrs. Buyer, I suppose you've already spoken to a mortgage lender. And I say already because 75% of the people we meet with who are out home shopping have already spoken to a mortgage lender. And if they say yes, your reply would be, great to hear. What did he or she say? Now, once they answer, you hit them with a left hook. Okay, tell me more about that. And you're getting them to open up. Now, know that home buyers are usually out home shopping for less than what they're qualified for. But for the most part, all buyers want to save money. You have to be prepared to dig out of them more about their financial situation and their willingness to move up in price if the home costs more money than they want to spend today. Here's a great example of that. So Mr. and Mrs. Buyer, if your perfect dream home came up for sale, but it was $25,000 more than what you want to spend, you could still afford it and the payment was in range. Do you want me to show it to you? So you're starting to get, once again, down to the emotional factor. You've got to go deeper, guys. You can't allow it to just be surface level answers. Here's a list of questions that you can ask a home buyer regarding their financials. Number one, what do you want to keep your monthly payment at? Number two, how much do you have saved for your down payment? Number three, do you have a pre-approval letter for negotiations? Number four, if we could save you money, would you be open to a conversation with our preferred lender? After you've uncovered the important financials of the transaction, then we go into the decision-making process. Outside of finding the why behind the sale, this is probably one of the biggest sections that is missed. Understanding someone's decision-making process is extremely important. A great example is when you go there and you show up to conduct a buyer presentation, and you get in there, you tour the home, you go through the questions, you do your presentation, and then when you ask for the commitment to move forward, you get, well, I'm buying this home with my brother, and he really needs to be part of the decision. You find out real fast there was never going to be a decision ever made today. And you went through an hour-long presentation to get to the very end, which is not the result you were looking for. You wasted time. If you understood the client's decision-making process, you know how to lead the client down the yellow brick road. You'll never be considered one of those pushy salespeople. A great example is asking the question, if we were to go out today and you were to find your dream home, would you be prepared to make an offer on it right then and there? If the answer is yes, then that's great. But if it's no, then this is where you need to go deeper and ask second and third level questions. Here's a list of questions that you would ask related to the decision-making process outside of the one that I mentioned above. Now I'm going to mention that one above is my favorite, but here are a few others. If I asked you, what's the number one thing that would keep you from buying a home? What would that be? Number two, if we found the perfect home for you tomorrow, what would stop you from making an offer? Number three, is there anyone other than yourself involved in the decision-making process? Okay, that's it. For decision-making process, we've gone through the why, we've gone through the financials, and now we've just completed the decision-making process. Now it's your time. It's your time to make a decision. Is this someone that you want to proceed forward with? Is this a person that I want to make a client of mine for life or not? That's the question you got to ask yourself. If the answer is no, thank them for their time and do what's called a takeaway. Take the opportunity to work with you away. Mr. and Mrs. Buyer, I appreciate your time today. I thank you so much for spending this time with me so I could better understand your situation. However, I don't feel that our Buyer Advantage program is the right fit to best serve you. So I think it'd be best if you considered interviewing other agents for the position of helping you buy your next home. You're going to watch how many people say, whoa, 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 what are you talking about? Why don't you think we're a good fit? I want access to the off-market properties. And then they start to sell you. But guys, this is really your time to make a decision. Is this going to be a new client for life or not? If they are, now go into the presentation. Step number 6 is our Buyer Advantage program presentation. The Buyer Advantage program system is one that was designed and created to overcome any and all objections and put you as the realtor of choice in the minds of every single home buyer. Most agents meet home buyers with no clue on what to say. They just wing it. The select few who have presentations prepared when meeting buyers are nothing compared to what you get with our system. Our presentation is broken down into 3 sections. Section number 1 is the team advantage compared to the solo agent. Number 2, why work with our team over working with anyone else? And finally, number 3, don't take our word for it. Look at what others have to say about our Buyer Advantage program system. Now, keep in mind, this is a printed brochure that you'll be able to leave behind with the home buyer. You want to take it and let them go home with it because it reminds them why they're going to do business with us. Important fact to note, this brochure has a lot of graphics with little text because the pages are cues for you to start explaining and telling more stories. These pages are cues for you on what to explain. This is not for you to read to them. This is not for you to do anything other than a cue on what to explain and tell more stories. So in the first section, we obviously cover our culture and we cover the mission of why our team exists. As you guys can see right here, our team exists because we're committed to helping people fulfill their dreams through real estate. We explain that to our buyers, that the reason the team exists is helping home buyers and sellers just like you accomplish your dreams. Then we start going into the team. Why is the team so important? And what does it mean to them? So this page right here, we start talking about how working as a team, we're able to help them find the perfect home, negotiate the best price, and with the least amount of hassle. What does that mean to the buyer? That means understanding pitfalls and troubleshooting problems before they even ever exist. And by working as a team, we've got access to more homes, especially off-market homes, not seen by any other home buyers or realtors. Our team consists of inside sales representatives. Those are individuals making outbound calls to sellers in our database to try and find more off-market homes for you, which allows me and other outside sales professionals to focus on the needs of our clients. Then we have our transaction coordinator. Our transaction coordinators are individuals that once an offer has been accepted and agreed to between the buyer and seller, they take over and handle the closing from the beginning all the way to the keys actually being transferred. They handle everything outside of the negotiations. You'll still be involved in the negotiation part. That's what you would explain to your home buyer. But the transaction coordinators are the one making sure that you have a seamless and hassle-free closing process. If you don't know, the average agent has to be the jack of all trades. They need to prospect for business daily by doing open houses, door knocking, and cold calling. They need to be focused on servicing their home buyers and clients by taking them out home shopping multiple times a week, going on listing appointments, handling all the paperwork to make sure the I's are dotted, the T's are crossed for all of their current clients. Plus now, trying to coordinate photos for their new listings, flyers created, signs ordered. I think you get my point here. All of this while trying to service you to the maximum. Let me tell you, after 15 plus years of experience, I've found that to be impossible. But what if there's a time-sensitive question from the agent representing the home seller, which you made an offer on? They need an answer about your financing within the next hour, but it's between you and one other home buyer. They need an answer in the next hour, and you selected an agent who's out doing an open house and is busy, so they don't see their phone ringing. That results in you missing out on your perfect home. That seller goes to the next buyer because you hired an agent who's the jack of all trades, which means they're the master of none. But here on our team, we have personnel and team members that handle every position of the job of helping people buy and sell homes. So my focus is one thing and one thing only, helping you buy the best home at the best price and hassle-free. I'm the conductor of this orchestra. That's what we explain to home buyers. That's what you'll be explaining to them. And then you're going to go into, keep in mind, Mr. Buyer, our team sells 40 times more homes than the average agent. So agents with fewer home sales just translate into inexperience in finding perfect homes that meet home buyer specifications and advanced negotiations. Like I said before, they can't troubleshoot problems before they actually happen. So by working with a team, you're getting specialists who can get the job done effectively for you and make this process hassle-free. So can you see the benefit of working with an entire team over an individual agent? Do you have any questions about the benefits and advantages of working with a team versus working with an individual agent? Do you guys understand? And do you agree that working with a team is the better route to buying a home than working with an individual agent? All right, so out of role play, here's what I'm doing right here. It's called a tie down, or what's also known as a soft close. You're getting them to agree that buying with a team versus with an individual agent is just a better way for them to buy their dream home. You're building a new belief. And when you get a yes, that is in the mind of the consumer now who's saying, I believe that teams are the best way to buy my next home, which means I must eliminate all solo agents from consideration. And now you're one step closer to getting them to enroll in the Buyer Advantage program. You'll do this after each and every one of the 3 sections of our presentation: team, unique selling propositions, and track record. If they say no, or they're hesitant, That means they don't fully understand the benefits of working with a team versus working with an individual agent. You need to stop and go backwards and better understand what it is they don't understand. Once you get the commitment, the tie down, or the soft close, you move forward to the unique selling proposition section of our buyer presentation and why they should work with us over working with any other team or agent. During the unique selling proposition section of our buyer presentation, we're going to cover 5 items: the home hunter service, off-market homes, the love it or leave it guarantee, the best loan program guarantee, and finally, a complimentary home warranty. So let's start. When explaining to home buyers, it sounds something like this. Hey, I want to explain to you why so many home buyers call and work with us over calling and working with any of our competitors. There's 5 main points. Number 1, our exclusive home hunter service. We take down your home buying criteria and put it into our exclusive home hunter service. It'll send you updates either instantly, daily, or weekly of homes that meet your exact home buying criteria listed by any and all realtors. This way you can beat out other buyers to the hottest new homes. Not only will it alert you, but we'll have it alert me immediately as well. Number 2 is access to our off-market properties. Do you know what off-market properties are? If the buyer says no, you can then go into an explanation of what off-market property homes are, that they're homes just currently not for sale on MLS. These are homes that most home buyers never see because they work with an inexperienced agent or they just go home shopping by themselves. So back into role play. Off-market homes, Mr. Buyer, includes old, expired, and canceled listings, sellers looking for an instant cash offer without tons of showings, bank foreclosures, builder closeouts, and most importantly, private listings. All of these homes are for sale. They're just not available to the general public. They're only available through our Home Buyer Advantage program. Do you understand how getting access to off-market homes can benefit you in your home purchase? Now to role play. You guys need to confirm the home buyer understands before moving on to the next step of the USPs. Now, number 3 is the love it or leave it guarantee. We're removing the risk for home buyers moving from outside of the area. We're assuring them that no matter what home they select, if they're unhappy with their selection within the first 12 months, we'll come out to the home and resell it for free so we can assist in their relocation. Love it or leave it guarantee. USP number 4 is our best loan program guarantee. We meet a lot of home buyers who inquire about specific homes. When buyers are that far along in the home buying cycle, they've usually already spoken to a mortgage lender or they're pre-approved. Our preferred lender offers a guarantee to not only assist our clients, but to help us make sure the buyers we're working with are actually qualified. Our lender is going to make sure that all the I's are dotted and T's are crossed. Explain to the buyer the following. Part of our Home Buyer Advantage program is to ensure you're getting the best rate and term possible for your mortgage. Our preferred lender guarantees to be any rate and term you're currently being offered. And if they can't, they're going to pay you $500 in cash. It's a win-win situation and you've got nothing to lose nor any obligation. How awesome is that? Now, out of role play, I'm getting the buyer to acknowledge the value of this USP and how the Buyer Advantage program has a feature that even helps them with their mortgage. Now, finally, USP number 5 is our complimentary home warranty. Ask the home buyer, are you familiar with what a home warranty is? And if the buyer does, move on. However, if they don't, spend a moment to show them the value of having a home warranty policy on their home. From a plugged up toilet to a roof leak, all the way to an AC unit not working. A home warranty keeps them protected from what the homeowner's insurance does not cover. As part of being enrolled in our Buyer Advantage program, they get a complimentary home warranty, which is huge. And what you would then say to the buyer, don't you want a home warranty policy to protect your home, especially if it's free? Here's another soft yes on the way to a big one. Okay, finally, we're in section 3 of our presentation, which is our track record. Now remember, facts tell, but stories sell. Tell some stories that make us look like the A team of real estate. Talk about how you've helped home buyers who were endlessly shopping with a realtor for months and continue to get beat out by other buyers. Then after meeting us and working with us for a short period of time, we got them into their dream home. Tell that story. So we're consistently telling stories because, like I said earlier, facts tell, stories, they sell. Now, finally, we go into our reviews. And if you haven't made it a focal point of your business to strive for getting 5-star reviews on as many websites as possible, start today. Start doing that immediately because they're going to make a major difference and a major impact on your real estate business. Now, you're part of my team. And you're going to be leveraging the team profile of 500, 600, or maybe even today, we're up to 800 reviews online. If you haven't done so already, start to continuously work on asking your clients for reviews. That's it. That's the presentation. So now that we've gone through our entire presentation, it comes down to section 7, the Buyer Advantage Program closing. And guys, this is simple and easy. I'm going to give you the only close you'll ever need for an appointment. You'll never need another close for a buyer appointment or listing appointment other than this one. Hope you got your pen and paper out. Here's what it sounds like. Mr. and Mrs. Buyer, on a scale of 1 to 7, how would you rate our Buyer Advantage Program being the right system to help you buy your next home? You're taking the evaluation off of you and you're putting it on the program or the system. So now they're going to come up with an answer. If they have to think about it for a minute or two, that's okay. Just shut up. Let them have their quiet time. Anything that comes out of their mouth that isn't a 7, you would reply with this. Okay, what would make it a 7? And here's what you're doing. You're uncovering an objection. You're uncovering a concern. This is something that was unknown to this point. And when they give that to you, repeat it, isolate it, and overcome it. Well, Blake, we give it a 6. Okay, great. What would make it a 7? Uncover any objection that they have. Isolate it. Dig deeper. Ask 2nd and 3rd level questions to start to work through that process and handle the objection. It's the only thing between you and a signed enrollment form. When you finally get them to say, well, everything I've heard today, the program sounds like it'd be a 7 to us, that's when your reply is, great, then let's move forward. And that is what we call an embedded command. Then I shake their hand. Now, I'm a little bit old-fashioned. I still like to have body-to-body contact with either a fist bump, shaking their hand, a little elbow bump, but that's just me. Okay, that's it. Your presentation is complete, and you've now got a new client. Congratulations. Thank you for attending today's training on the Buyer Advantage Program system. Now, remember, this is only one part of the education triad. You need to role play this presentation and work on common issues and objections so you can practice asking 2nd and 3rd level questioning to overcome them and become a top agent. Now, move on to the next training, which is getting a signed Buyer Advantage Program agreement.